Let's get a couple interviews here with some of the attendees. Ben, let me grab you real quick. Come on over. Come on over here. Introduce yourself to the camera.
Ben Anderson.
And where are you from?
Australia, but I live in Utah now. Sorry about that.
What business do you need to plug?
Breakthrough Strength and Conditioning is my business. We work with basketball players and develop them as athletes.
And why are you here at Muscle Mentorship?
To learn. I'm the dumbest person in the room, and I love it.
What have you learned so far?
That I'm the dumbest person in the room. No, I love learning about, like, we just did a lecture on force plates, and I've utilized those in my own training, and just the most intelligent way to utilize these important pieces of equipment to help develop the athletes and the logistics of it. So that's been valuable to me.
And why'd you come to Muscle Mentorship?
Because I've done it 2 times before, and it's invaluable. It's the most immersive, educational, and practical experience that exists.
Boom.
The best.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, man.
Anthony Montante, here for a great time, and I support Allegiant every location, really.
Damn right you do.
Really, yeah.
Why'd you come to Muscle Mentorship?
To get absolutely destroyed, and also to learn a little bit, but mostly to get just demolished by Tim. And just to see him in this setting is great.
Demolished in terms of education and physically?
Absolutely, absolutely.
What's something you've learned so far?
I need to push myself harder.
Explain.
In all aspects, knowledge, weight room, networking. I don't know, just pushing myself to be better every day.
Nice. That's it.
Yep.
Boom. Nailed it. Unger.
Michael Ungar from Fort Worth, Texas. Ungar Nation. Some personal and group training. Get people stronger, happier, healthier lives.
What brought you out to Muscle Mentorship?
Tim Karen, Allegiant, you. Knowledge, education, camaraderie, continue education, and what I love to do.
And what have you learned so far?
That's a loaded question. Every day, every moment, I learn something new. Jill from Designs Sports has been fantastic. New information from Tim, just talking with him outside of lectures, also learning from him, and also from other members, other attendees. It's great to meet other people from other parts of the country, like-minded people getting after it. The program design, probably like immediately, program design. Other things I would like to still research in is testing. I'm very interested in that. Went and saw Tim at University of Houston talk about similar things. I'm on the fence of that, but want to do it. So I'm eager to learn more about it. But immediately, some of the more program designing that I see that Tim does, and he continually just is above and beyond the rest. He's the best. So that's why I come out here.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, man. Get a little interview. Yeah, come on in.
Miles Brown. I am from Washington, D.C. I work for a contracting company called O2X Human Performance. We serve the tactical populations, law enforcement, local fire, federal and municipal, and military reserve special forces.
Hell yeah! And this shirt right here, you can't buy that one. That was earned.
Oh man, 10 years in the making here. This is the original. Probably should have got rid of it by now, but you can see the impact that man's had on me.
That's awesome. What brought you out to Muscle Mentorship?
Just wanted to know exactly. First of all, I've seen it over the years. I've been watching it on social media. Been in strength and conditioning for quite a while now, and haven't gotten the chance to come out and actually hear Coach Karen talk and see what he's doing out here at Allegiant. I'm on the East Coast. You guys are out here. It's been a long distance, but I'm glad he brought it back. This is my first opportunity where I've actually had the time to come out here. Normally we're in bowl season, normally we're practicing, but had the chance to come out here this year and wanted to soak up as much knowledge as possible. Biggest things I've learned are just implementation, man. It's the processes that you guys go through around here. I think a lot of the nuts and bolts are really getting widespread in the strength and conditioning industry, but the way you guys do it here, as far as your processes, your administration, how you're implementing things like the force plates, like the readiness testing, it's top notch. So definitely gonna be taking some of that back with me.
That's awesome. Do you feel like you've hit, I know we're still early in your muscle mentorship, but have you hit that moment where you've had to push through some things that you weren't sure if you wanted to, or you could?
Day one. Went way too hard on the first workout. Still can't feel any of this up here. We're way past that. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for being here.
Sure, appreciate it.
Chloe Borghese from Philadelphia, G Strength.
That's awesome. What brought you out to Muscle Mentorship?
My boss, Gian, he came here 2 years ago and had an amazing experience. Just had to bring some of his staff here. So really taking a lot of stuff Tim said about some of the testing he does either with his athletes or Gen Pop, and taking that back to Philly to see how we can make our processes a little smoother.
Nice. Do you feel like you've learned something that you can implement immediately, or is this something that so far you're just kind of thinking a little bit more ahead?
We're working with 250 plus clients as we're opening new locations, so it's going to be a long-term battle, but definitely see the future prospects of it.
That's awesome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Heck yeah.
I'm Blair from Roseville, California. My business, Lead Performance.
That's awesome. What brought you out to Muscle Mentorship?
I wanted to do it on the last one. I was getting married 3 weeks later. My wife was not going to let me go. So as soon as Tim hit me with the message, I was like, oh, I'm in. I'm doing it.
What do you feel like you've learned so far?
Limits. I think just limits and like having that relative kind of scale to compare what I put myself through and then ultimately my athletes.
Have you hit a moment in your training yet where you're like, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to push through this, or are you saving that for later in Muscle Mentorship?
I didn't save it. I didn't save it from the first workout to the second. I've had guys push me through all the way. Yeah. Oh, we're going concentric failure every single time. Going back to my business and with my staff, there's stuff I've already taken notes on, sent to them. Hey, we're having a meeting. We want to start putting some of these things into play January 1.
That's awesome. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
My name is Ryan Shimizu. I'm from Manhattan Beach, and I'd like to plug the Allegiate over in Redondo. If you're a strength coach, you want to get your start, you're a personal trainer, they taught me a ton. I owe them a lot of my success, so give them a shout.
What brought you to Muscle Mentorship?
I wanted to reconnect with a lot of strength coaches. I wanted to reconnect with Tim. I wanted to learn more, and I wanted to take a week off of work and just work out really hard. I've learned to test my limits. I've learned to train harder than I do on my own, and definitely learned the importance of testing my clients before, during, and after workouts to try and gather as much data as I can. Something that I'm going to implement immediately right away is a conditioning test I'm going to do with all my clients, a 5-minute sprint test to just get baseline data, and a handheld body fat test.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you for being here.
Awesome. Thank you.
Boom. Nailed it.
My name's Joey Adams. I'm from Philadelphia, and I work at G Strength.
That's awesome. We got a couple of G Strength folks that have been out in the past few years. What brought you out to Muscle Mentorship?
Like what you said, a couple of the other people that work there have been here. They recommended it to us, and we took the opportunity when we had it.
Love it. What's something you feel like you've learned so far?
A lot, both training for myself, training for other people, and just learning from not just the people presenting, but the people that are working here as well. Because everyone here works with a different population. You're able to take away from basically everyone you talk to. So that's awesome.
Right. Have you hit that threshold or moment in your training personally where you're like, holy shit, this might have been a little harder than I was expecting?
Not yet, but we still have a bunch of days left.
It's still early.
We have plenty of time for that to come. I think once we get back, we're going to have to sort of synthesize a lot of the stuff we learned and see what would work best for us. I know Chloe and I have already talked about things we've heard, but we'll have to see when we get everything in the whole picture.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
My name's Jill. I'm from Dallas, Texas, and I'm here with Designs for Sport. That community is king. That being with a collective group of people trying to get better in the industry is how you get better. And to always check what you know to make sure that you're not stuck in the rut and be looking for something new. I mean, after every training session, I'm making a mental note of how I need to adjust even my own personal sessions for myself. So, I mean, that's just like a done deal. And yeah, I mean, you know, I work on the nutrition side, but listening to the strength and conditioning component of it and hearing about all the testing has been really valuable. So just reevaluating, just testing for myself and the athletes I work with.
That's awesome. And what would be an example of just like personal training, kind of self-evaluation that you might think about implementing when you get home?
More mobility. I don't get to be the age I am and train without more prep and mobility work. So yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for being here.
Umberto Medina, Monterey, California, and I'm plugging in my own performance company, so Summit Human Performance.
What brought you out to Muscle Mentorship?
The awesomeness that is Allegiate. You know, I worked with you guys early on, and it's really cool to see it evolve to what it is. So coming out to check out the new facilities is a nice little treat for myself. I mean, the great thing about muscle mentorship is you do it right away, and you get to actually do it. And, you're not sitting at a conference just taking down notes. You get to actually do it, know what it feels like, and be like, oh, hey, you know what? I have this person that needs help with this, and this is going to be what I can do for them. I think it's always nice as a strength coach when someone else does the programming for you, because, I'm not saying you always play it safe with yourself, but when someone else does it for you, they have zero regard for your feelings, which is great. So I really like that part.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for being here. All right, we got 6-time Muscle Mentorship attendee and veteran here, Sean Hayes. Sean,
Hey, I'm Sean Hayes, and I'm from Cocoa Beach, Florida. So coming all the way ahead from coast to coast, baby. Hey, got the shirt on right now, 8th Street Gym down here, training some high school athletes, trying to get better in the Brevard County area, Cocoa Beach area. But the new league just merged, XFL, USFL. That's going to be real exciting. So bigger opportunities, more opportunities for guys out there that looking to play professionally and maybe they don't have the opportunity to play the NFL. Take a look at that league that's about to merge and kicking off March of this year. So got a couple things going on here, but it all comes down to being back here, Muscle Mentorship, the 6th time, the Phoenix rises. You thought we were dead. We ain't dead yet. We're gonna do one more week, and it's just great being here, man. Seeing everybody.
What as somebody that's been here so many times, what brings you out to Muscle Mentorship? Like, why do you come to this?
I tell you, it's about evolving. Coach Tim Karen, he doesn't have to evolve. He's the smartest man here, and everybody comes here to see him. But he tells you right up front, hey, this is where I can get better. And if Tim's saying that, like, hey, I need to get better in this, well, then I better try to get better in that. So that's a real big reason why I come. The other reasons are just the laughs, the training hard. Everyone's like-minded in that sense. You see friends you haven't seen in a while, and you get to train and you get to put in the effort and see everybody like try hard. So you can't beat that. You're not gonna get that anywhere, any other conference where you're sitting down, you got a notepad taking notes. You ain't getting that. You can only get that here at Allegiant Muscle Mentorship, and it's been really helpful for me personally in my career over the 6 years. I've learned a lot. So man, who better to learn from than TC and you guys? One thing we talked about yesterday was the importance of oxidative training, and basically just, hey, you want to decrease the amount of times you get fatigued. Well, you need to increase your capacity to do work, right? You need to increase your fitness level, because then that will help you decrease your fatigue. So right off the bat, maybe you're a trainer, whether you're training pro guys or you're training private clients, the importance of that endurance, that fitness level, the capacity to do work will kind of take care of a lot of things. Yeah, work on strength, work on speed, all that good stuff. But hey, are you lacking on your capacity to do things? What's your oxidative stuff like? What's your zone 2 stuff like? So right off the bat, day one, we learned that, and it's just how can we test that too, right? So how can we test everything else? How can that be something we test? So obviously, even only 2 days in here, you're learning stuff, right? That's something that we can take back, all of us, day one.
I'm Zach Asbar. I'm from Southern California, just up north of Ventura, and Business on Plug is Allegiant. I came for the first time last year when you guys did it, learned an incredible amount, and was able to take that and transfer it to my also training and other while I was coaching my athletes, and it just really, really just grows, and there's a bunch of tidbits and just gold nuggets that Tim says and Jill and everyone that's here. A lot of stuff that Jill's talking about nutrition-wise, supplementation, I really do want to get a better understanding and actually put that into practice for myself. But training-wise, just the variety, and then also the amount of tempo work that we are doing, it accentuates everything and really shows faults that you have. So adding that into training would be really great.
Yeah, it's kind of a unique thing where you get to do the actual training, and then you get to have lectures, and then you go back to training. And so it's just like complete immersive experience.
Exactly, because you're getting new movements, you're learning how to technique-wise while you're training, but then you get another broken down, another layer of it while he's talking about it. It's awesome.
My name is Edgar. I'm from Echo Park, originally, currently out in West Covina. Allegiant born and raised, currently at Monarch.
Nice. What brought you to Muscle Mentorship?
You guys, man. I love the information. I love Tim. I love to learn, and I love to lift. So day one, actually, being day two now, day one, I came in a little nervous, just not necessarily knowing what to expect. So coming out of the gate with the workout was the best for me, because that was the best thing that I could do to down-regulate myself. So start with something familiar, just lift some heavy fucking weight. Excuse my language.
Yeah, it's okay.
Then from there, we went into our sports nutrition lecture, which was really, really beneficial post-workout, learning about what we need to eat and drink post-workout. So that was directly injected into my brain. Broke for lunch, ate some good food again, and then did a lecture on anaerobic training and anaerobic fitness. That was amazing. I've still got so much stuff to digest from that lecture and the lecture today, which was using the force plates. Another great lecture. And then our lift yesterday was pretty taxing, and I've just got our PM day one lower in the back of my head right now. That's what I'm thinking about, so I'm kind of ramping myself up for that, but I cannot complain. I love it. I love it 100%.
I'm Cory Hobs, coming from Scottsdale, Arizona. Shout out Canyon View High School if any of my Jaguars are watching, and then I'll do some online remote training as well.
It's awesome. You are another one of our very few Muscle Mentorship veterans. What brings you out, and what brought you out this year?
Top-notch education. You made I met some of my best friends here, Hayes and D'Lo. So top-notch education, and then we apply it too. So like, it's not just like, here's all this stuff. It's like, here's all this stuff. Here's how you can do it in a room, in a setting with your population. So it's a lot of hands-on stuff that I really love. The power capacity conversations, like even Tim talked about, like no assault bikes, and now we see the assault bike in the corner. So just the ability to change your mind. It's like, okay, maybe I was wrong on that. Let's look at a little more oxidative capacity and why that might be important, if that's going to be a big limiter for power and force production.
Dylan Lowenstein from Chino's, California. I'm going to plug Allegiant, the badge. It's right above me, but also I got it on Forstex. Michael Rishwain doing an unbelievable job here at Muscle Mentorship. And then, of course, Sorenex. Appreciate your guys' equipment. Best of the best.
How many times have you been to Muscle Mentorship?
It's number 3. I feel like I'm starting to get to the veteran status. I'm not there yet, but I am getting closer. Well, first off, let me start with, there's 52 weeks in a year, and this is the most important one. This is the week that I look forward to every single year. Awesome. But big takeaways so far, we learned a ton about Forstex. I got the shirt on. Yesterday, we were going on the practical usage of them, how to implement them in your setting. Got a ton of good stuff. I'm starting to look into the dynamic strength index. Coach Karen talked about that yesterday. So excited to get that going with my athletes.
How about the supplementation and nutrition?
Unbelievable. Coach Jill Lane, Designed for Sport, always providing the best of the best. We've had aggressive supplementation all week, pills, powder, protein, whatever you can get in, just consume it. That's the motto here. Caffeine level, still to be determined. We're only on day 3 here. It's going to continue to go up. We're excited for it. We're doing breakfast right now. As soon as we're done with this, we're going to go through some testing protocols. Then we'll get into our first lift of the day. After that, we'll have another lecture. Usually that's a guest one with one of our products that we have here. And then Coach Karen will get into the main lecture of the day. And then we're going to follow that up with lift number 2. I think it's really important that you're practicing all these things that you're learning on yourself before you implement that with your athletes. So big thing here, we're learning a ton of information from the latest literature and research, but we're applying it on ourselves first and foremost before we take that back to our athletes.
Okay, we are here with Coach Tim Karen. Coach, this is your 6th Muscle Mentorship. Okay, we're getting closer to the camera. I like that. 6th Muscle Mentorship here. Can you talk about just what it feels like to get this whole community together? You've got 21 people. It's your first sold out, our first sold out one here. How does that feel just from somebody that's put an event together and seeing it sort of happening right now?
The original thought of running it back, and I wonder if people would really be into it, and just the overwhelming, like every day I'm like, we got another one, got another one, got another one. Like people really wanted this. So that was amazing, right? Like this, let's just shoot in the dark here. Let's see if people want to do it. And then within like 2 weeks, we sold it out, which is unprecedented, right? And the labor to get someone to sign up, it was such a hard process, 2 or 3 calls. Like, here's what you're going to get. It's going to be an amazing week. And then, yeah, we're going to run it back. All right, sign me up. Like okay. So demand's been there. So that was cool. And then just the opportunity, man, like being in this location, it feels like it's a christening, so to speak, of like, you know, we're breaking the champagne bottle before we set launch. We didn't have that opportunity here. We've had great moments here, right? Like we've had multiple full classes and the vibes getting there, you know, but it's like almost a rite of passage for a new facility to have like an event like this. And 2, send this like shockwave through the community. Like, don't forget, like we're really good at this, and people really like what we do. And having that reminder to yourself of, wow, okay, we got something special here. But then 2, like this is what it's going to be like. And we saw it on Monday, right? Like 20 people just dominating this room, and then a class with a wait list like right after. It's like, oh man, okay, now we're officially Legion again, you know, like, which is cool. And then, you know, honestly too, it sharpens the sword, right? You know, it's a lot of pressure. Like these guys know good, and if you're not going to, one, be prepared, two, like have a really high quality training and good information, they won't come or they won't come back. And all of these guys have been here before for the most part. It's always building upon the last time. And seminars usually have one crack and you're done. Some guys have been here for 6 times, 5 times.
Which is an interesting thing. I think one theme is, I think the strength conditioning profession, more than anyone that I've seen, investing in continuing education, is constantly sort of trying to seek out the next thing or learn more. You yourself have been to a ton of seminars and a ton of continuing education things. And so can you talk about how and why you formatted Muscle Mentorship the way you did? Because this seems to be a unique format in the context of continuing education.
We only have limited windows, especially if you work in the team sector. So if you work college, it's May. If you work in some other professional sports, it might be a small window. And then not only that, you're balancing, I've been gone from my family or from people that I want to spend time with outside of work. So how do I double up? How do I get a really good experience? So you don't have vacation, you don't have continuing education, you have to pick one. And this was hopefully that for both. It made a great opportunity to have an opportunity to get away, do something you really want to do, and learn a ton and grow. But the other part, I think the thing that we really come back to is telling them more things to do, or the reason behind stuff is going to be a part of it, but showing them. It's probably one of the most overlooked areas. And the learn by doing is a concept that I think is kind of touched on, but it's never really reached that critical threshold of you need to really feel this to understand this. And you develop empathy, you develop this thought process of how would I do this differently? Is this sustainable? Like all these great things. And we stress the room out, and then we come back and we group. This will be the most intense period for not only this facility, but everyone else that comes here. And I think it just forces growth, forces evolution. You know, Charles Darwin would be in the corner just, this is good. This is really good. Good job, man. Like, this is exactly what I was hoping for at Galapagos Islands, you know? Like, thanks, Chuck, man. So that's kind of the thought. It's like extreme learn by doing.
Yeah. Wow. Has the previous ones influenced what you decided to do on this one?
I don't know how much harder you can get, right? How can we push the threshold of training to an intensity or a volume or whatever? We've gotten first year, like multiple people, like, I don't know if we'll be able to finish this. I don't know if it was like go harder, but I think there's how can we leverage this room better? And how can we get more from the space and our equipment and our coaches and the way we format it? And it's just not making it harder just to make it harder, but making it more effective. You learn your space better. You learn how to program based off the room. And we'll talk about it a lot from a facility design perspective or programming perspective, but there's programming driven by the facility and there's facilities driven programming, right? And here was the first opportunity that we really could take a blank slate and design this facility to match what we want to do programming wise. A lot of our places before were, we have to really like get creative with leveraging the space, the nooks and crannies, the corners, the ingress, egress, to hopefully get a product or a program the way we want it. Here is an interesting case study where, oh wow, we can put anything we want wherever we want. We can change the front door, put bathrooms over here. We can develop it. So maybe our first opportunity to have a really facility design for the program we want to run, which is cool because like now I can walk in from a program perspective. And we came out here in September and I just sat here and I'm just thinking like, all right, I'm like, could I do this? Could I do that? And so asking Kirk, does this make sense? And I think so. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, all right, let me try it out and go through a beta testing period. And okay, I feel like we're at this like final level of we're really maximizing our facility to get the most from it because we set it up the way we wanted to. And we have a program that we now know really matches what this facility can do.
The type of person here at Muscle Mentorship doing some of these interviews, they're either business owners, they're professional strength and conditioning coaches, they're in charge of teams. They've been in the sector for a really long time. Some are Army guys, Special Forces guys, and they all seem to be attracted to something like this. Can you talk just a little bit about the caliber of attendee here at Muscle Mentorship?
Carol Dweck would call him growth mindseted, the person that's never complacent, figure it out or crack the code. the other element, it's I want a challenge. I don't want to just accept that I figured it out, or I know what hard training is, or I can't be pushed, I can't be coached. It's a certain just archetype of person. I'm going to fly across the country, and I'm just going to get throttled for a week with information and training, and all the coaches are going to be, you can do it, you can fine, like just keep pushing through, and you respond to that, right? This is ridiculous, this is overwhelming, it's no way you can make it through it. And then responding with optimism of like, no, it seems to be that. And then group dynamics powerful too. So I find that archetype of growth mindset in looking at everything as an opportunity, not a negative thing, like it's too hard, it's too much stuff. Like just an amazing group of people that just invigorates everyone around you. The group dynamic is unprecedented, right? It's intoxicating to be around because watching them like, oh my God, I try to do this all by myself to kind of like stress test these workouts, and like the psychological warfare, and you're jealous and envious of, oh my God, they just have a group that can lean in on, and you watch it like they get to the third set of 4, or they're in the second workout of a day, or they're day 3, and they're rallying. They're just over there like, how sore are you? Like, I'm really sore. Like, great, that was the point, and they're getting hyped up over there. It's cool. Like, I wish I had a little bit more of that myself, because I guess that goes back to the other question, why'd you build this the way you did? Like, you want something like that for yourself. You want a group dynamic. You want that team-like environment. The other part, which I talked about from day one, is whoever focuses on you, like you give so much to your clients and athletes, whoever gives them to you. Like, and it's nice, man. It's nice to have someone like, I'm going to coach you the way you coach your athletes and clients. Like, oh, wow. Like, be selfish, like make this the best week of your year. And then by extension, you're going to be more for others because someone dumped into you.